So this is Adi Harajuku,
cosplay community
and she's talking about a cosplayer, right? A black cosplayer who was 20 years old, right? And he recently committed suicide, unfortunately. And a contributing factor to why is because the amount of bullying and racism towards people of color within the cosplay community, right? Which is fucked up because I have a lot of friends who are really fucking talented, right? You see so many people like who are of color who are talented cosplayers, talented artists, and it's genuinely sad to think about how often it gets reduced to their skin color. You'll see the most talented fucking person in the world, right? The most fucking costume you've ever seen, the most amazing thing you've ever seen. And the comments we follow people saying, oh, you're too dark to play that character, or you don't look right, or you got the wrong skin color, or you should only dress as black people. And it's fucked up how bold people are in saying something like that to someone who works hard to obviously do cosplay and just, express themselves, have fun. To the point where a 20-year-old is committing suicide because they don't want to deal with this kind of harassment anymore.
More specifically, racist bullying. Ash was a well-liked cosplayer.
I think people are just too fucking stupid and too fucking bold with what they say.
In their Genshin cosplays and a variety of different content to do with cosplaying. They were young, they had their whole life ahead of them. And yet sadly, the hobby that they enthusiastically engaged with and wanted to be a part of was actually a core factor in the reason that they took their own life. Because yes, they were receiving a huge amount of harassment because of the fact that they were a black cosplayer. As a content creator and cosplayer within the J-fashion and cosplay community, I am morbidly aware of the fact that the way I'm going to be treated is going to be very different than my darker skinned peers. And when I've talked about this issue with anti-blackness and also just this disregard and disrespect towards people of colour within the cosplay community, I often get other white people telling me that it's not my place to talk about, that I shouldn't be talking about it. Why am I constantly being woke and white knighting?
The problem is the reason we constantly have to talk about this whole thing is because it keeps happening, right? Like, I would love, absolutely love so much if I never have to mention racism in any community again because it just stops happening, right? But as long as it keeps happening, we need to keep addressing it and bringing it up. Because, like, if you're, like, it's Martin Luther King, he said, silence is compliance. If you don't oppose it, then you're complicit. Which is why every single time people see racism, they need to oppose it. You need to be against it. You need to speak out against it. You don't need to sit by idly and let it happen. Because then it leads to shit like this happening. And I don't get how people can literally see someone say the most horrible fucking shit to another human being and turn a blind eye to it. And I know a lot of the reason is because it doesn't affect them, so why should they care? But, it's affecting other people in your social circle around you. Like, do you not have friends who are going to be affected by this sort of thing? It's such a fucking privileged thing. But then, like, if you then say, oh, you're a piece of shit for not opposing it sort of thing, they get all upset about it. And I'm like, why? Okay, if you don't want to be, called out for being someone who stands by and won't step in. And do you know what the worst part about this is, right? The worst part is this happens in the cosplay community, where people are standing by and letting others be racist and hurtful for others, right? They're all doing it while dressed up as fucking characters, like Goku or fucking Naruto or some shit, who would absolutely step in and protect those who are being attacked like this, right? They spent all their money on media, consuming media, and like literally making it the entire personality based around these characters that do nothing but preach things like friendship and protecting those who are downtrodden and vulnerable and weak. And then when shit like that's happening in front of them, they turn the other way. Like, they're spending all of their money on shit that they don't even incorporate. Like, what do they even like about these things then, right? What's the point of, like, spending all your money on fucking anime and video games when you very clearly do not give a shit about the message these things are trying to portray, right? It's so fucked up. Like, do they just fucking have crayons shoved up their nose and, like, drool whilst watching cool fight scene while not understanding what the fuck is going on or what the fuck the message of this media is? Like, this is why it annoys me so much. Like, especially because it's happening in a community where it shouldn't be happening in at all. Right? Like, fucking Dragon Ball Z has an entire arc about Frieza being a racist and telling you why racism is bad because, he uses slurs to refer to Saiyans by calling them monkeys, right? And shows you that, hey, this guy's a racist. He's a bad person. He hates all other races, right? And he's mean to them. Don't be like this. And then these motherfuckers go on the internet and call people the N-word. Did they just completely miss all that fucking heavy-handed messaging? Well, apparently they did.
This is why it shouldn't be up to the people who are facing oppression, who are facing bullying and harassment, to constantly having to try and justify their existence to defend themselves. Everyone in the community should be involved in this conversation.
You should protect your spaces against this sort of thing. Don't allow it in your community.
People who are being marginalized to stand up for themselves on their own. Stuff like this is
It's the highest degree of hypocrisy.
Everybody is vocal. And to be honest, this is just a wider issue in the community that also needs addressing, and that is just the rampant bullying and harassment. Just be aware that when you leave a mean comment, a backhanded comment, when you spread rumours and misinformation about people, this is what can happen. This can be the straw that breaks the camel's back for anyone. You don't know if your comment is one on top of a mountain of others that is just a tipping point for somebody. If you don't like something that you see, it costs nothing to disengage and scroll away. I just feel painfully sorry for Ash's family. I feel painfully sorry for the people that knew Ash. I feel so sorry for Ash themselves, who doesn't get to enjoy or live the rest of their life, and they had a lot of life left, because of the way that people treated them and because of the isolation and loneliness and sadness they must have felt to make that decision. And I just hope all the people who left comments like that negatively on their post, regardless of how deep they thought their comment was, I hope you know that blood is on your hands. I hope you know that you are part of the reason that somebody has chosen to not exist anymore, and that their family now has to carry the weight of that pain instead. We have lost a...
Honestly, it just fucks me up so much. It costs nothing to say nothing, right? Shutting the fuck up is free. And it's what these people need to understand and practice more. No, that they apparently do think it's cool to be mean to the people. They think being mean is a personality. And it's fucked up. Like, why? The worst part is they were doing it to seem cool in front of a group of strangers on the internet, right? They were being mean to another human being like this because they think it makes them look cool in front of everyone else. People they have never met, will never meet, ever. That's the very reason why they did it. It's so fucked up and depressing.